Philadelphia's second straight close win against a future NFC playoff team was nothing short of spectacular, at least if you were just watching the Birds' defense. Well, the injury news this morning for their star right tackle is much worse than we first thought. Plus, A.J. Brown finally got the targets he deserves, it's still clearly time for Nick Sirianni to make a change on offense. Oh, and why Jalen Phillips and Nakobe Dean have completely unlocked Vic Fangio's defense in a way that puts them right back at the front of title contenders. Thomas Mott, this is the Thomas Mott Show. There are really only two ways to look at Philadelphia's fourth win in a row on Sunday night versus Detroit. Option A, the offense continues to look pathetic for 95% of the game. Kevin Patullo's play calling and the team's execution as a whole will not get them very far in the playoffs if this keeps up. Or how about option B? Yes, the offense stinks right now, but Vic Fangio has this defensive unit flying around at a level I'm not sure we've seen since the Super Bowl win over the Kansas City Chiefs. Once you fully realize just how scary option B actually is, makes what the Eagles are doing right now terrifying for the rest of the NFL. And so to celebrate, today's giveaway is actually last week's giveaway, the signed Zach Baun picture, because the winner never reached out. Bummer there. So we're going to redraw. Drop a like on today's video, be subscribed, and why don't you comment down below who you thought the MVP of the game was, and I'll pick one of y'all to win later on this week. Oh, and stay tuned to the end of the game. I'm going to announce the winner of the Birds hoodie from Saturday's show. Of course, though, before we actually get to the game, the big news out of the NovaCare complex just dropped. As Lane Johnson has officially suffered a Lisfranc sprain in his foot that will sideline him for 6 to 8 weeks, likely place him on injured reserve until the postseason. And you don't need me to tell you that this is a brutal injury, and yet here we are. Lane Johnson is out. It's super tough. It's such a bummer. He's playing at a very high level, as we'll see. However, if there is a bright side, he's not officially done for the year. He could, more like should, come back for at least the start of the postseason. Maybe try and get that first round bye. That's going to be crucial. Lane's been banged up seemingly all season long, and yet he still is yet to give up a sack in 2025. So at least we know that when he does get healthy, Philadelphia, right around the playoffs, could be getting a massive boost, really on the right side of the offensive line. Until then, though, Philadelphia must continue to rely on Fred Johnson, who has filled in admirably, including last night, where he went up a lot against Aiden Hutchinson and did not give up a sack. I think we might look back on the Fred Johnson trade during the season a couple of weeks ago as the most important move Howie Roseman made basically in all of 2025. I know Jalen Phillips will talk about him, but with Lane out, Fred's going to start the next at least 7 games, and he's a lot better than their other options that we saw before they traded for Fred Johnson. So good news there. Plus, we did just conclude our toughest stretch against good edge rusher units, including the Giants, the Packers, and now the Lions. There's still 7 games left, as I just said, but it's at least not necessarily Micah Parsons or, Aiden Hutchinson or the good edge rushers, so I think Fred's going to be okay. Now, I will get to the offense because we can't keep pretending like they're going to magically figure things out in a couple of weeks because the calendar is nearing Thanksgiving and they have not figured it out. But I will say, A.J. Brown, at least positive here, handled last night perfectly, as we'll see. But in reality, I'm tired of starting every single Monday recap show with the offense stinks, the offense is bad, KP this, Jalen, AJ, blah. Let's talk about the defense first, because if this team is going to go as far as we want them to go, it'll be a defense wins championship mentality, and we saw that on Sunday night. Once you realize how impressive the defense really was, I think you start to realize that they can win a ton of games even with the struggling offense. For example, Jared Goff's Lions just came off a 44-point drubbing of the Commanders literally 1 week ago, where they accumulated over 500 total yards of offense and seemed poised to really do it again at the link. Goff himself entered Monday night leading the NFL with a 74% completion percentage, on pace to be the 3rd best in NFL history until he met Vic Fangio. Jared Goff last night went a staggering 14 of 37, making that a 37.8% completion percentage, which is the 9th lowest of any quarterback with 35-plus attempts since 2005.
You see it out there today, all those guys making plays, defense playing lights out. One of the best performances I've ever seen. So, really big time game on that side of the ball. To be able to do what they did on 4th down against a really good offense, a potent offense that's capable of doing really special things. And I have a lot of respect for that.
And that was not simply an off night for the Detroit Lion offense. Don't let anybody tell you that. That was Vic Fangio's defense imposing their will, drive after drive after drive. Not only was Jared Goff pressured seemingly every single snap, but Philadelphia's defensive tackles got their hands on 5 batted balls the entire game, while holding superstar running back Jahmyr Gibbs when he wasn't catching the football to just 39 yards on the ground the entire night.
Let's watch the interior pass rush here of Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Davis gets the double team on this play right here, and he gets his hands up, and the ball's tipped, and there goes Cooper DeJean with the gift, right? The early holiday gift right there, setting up the Eagles' first score. Jalen Carter, though, he's just the same. It's to the point right now you cannot throw the ball over these trees inside. All right, you got to throw the ball through the trees. Everybody's finding it out. Another ball tipped. All right, Jordan Davis right here. He's got Jared Goff right here off play action. He's got Amon-Ra St. Brown open right here in the middle of the field. But Jordan Davis tips that ball. And the quarterback is like flummoxed.
Plus, I mean, come on, how about all of those fourth down stops? Like, yes, Philadelphia got the actual turnover on the tipped interception here. Cooper DeJean, fantastic. But Detroit ended up going 0 for 6 on fourth down and a crazy 1 for 11 on third and fourth down combined. That's basically 6 turnovers by a unit that seems to only just be heading towards their peak as December approaches.
Play on our terms, we wanted to impose our will physically. And I feel like we did that, you know. They went for it on fourth down a lot. We knew they was a gutsy team like that, but we didn't know it was going to go for it like that many times. But, you know, shout out to the defense. We handle our business. Shout out to the special teams, too. They really ran out there and offense for closing the game out like they were supposed to.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Those are turnovers in our mind. And really, really good coverage and rush together.
And yes, great coverage is 100% right. Not only was Goff terrible, but Amon-Ra St. Brown had his worst catch percentage of any wide receiver in a single game this season, going 0 for 6 when lining up against future All-Pro Quinyon Mitchell, and also just 1 catch when being covered by Adoree Jackson. I think a lot of us were hoping that once the defensive line was improved by a trade or just overall internally, the secondary would get a little bit better. I didn't think it'd get this much better. I mean, the pass rush has literally made Adoree Jackson look like not a Pro Bowler, let's be real here, but very, very good. And again, this is not against, you know, the Chiefs passing attack, which stinks so far this season, the Giants without a quarterback. This is Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff, and a team that just put up 44 points last week.
You know, I thought that, you know, we got a lot of pressure on him, and DBs did an amazing job all game covering their key guys. We did what we had to do up front, so it was great.
Man, that's amazing. It makes my job way easier. I feel way calmer back there, knowing that I got those guys up front that, you know, they can be real destructive. And they've been doing that. They did the whole game. I think they had like, what, five PBUs on the D-line. So, man, just made my job easy in the back end.
And I think the guy up front causing the most havoc, once again, it's got to be Jaelan Phillips, who's now up to 2.5 sacks in 2 games as an Eagle and seemingly a dozen pressures against 2 very good offensive lines. Like, I knew he was going to be good. I don't think any of us thought he would be this good this quickly. I think there's something to say about playing for, nothing in Miami for so long, that once you actually come to a winner like the Birds and play in big games like Sunday night, it definitely gets the best out of you.
The atmosphere was great. Fans showed out, and that was a hell of a game. Super fun to be a part of. I love being a part of this defense. Thought we played lights out. So, yeah, just got to keep stacking, make the improvements, and keep it rolling.
I mean, he brought everything. He brought effort. He fit in right away. You know, his personality, the way he played, the physicality he brings. He liked to set edges. You know, as an edge, I love edges that like to set edges, but he also like to rush the passes as they should. So, yeah. And
of course, naturally, when Phillips is balling out, the past 2 weeks we've seen the rest of the defensive line is balling out as well. He's improved every single one of them. I mean, Morojomo, fantastic once again. Obviously, Jalen Carter, his usual wrecking ball self. But then how about Jalen Hunt? I mean, he led the team with 6 pressures, 5 quarterback hits, a team-high 16.7 pass rush win rate. Hunt is absolutely balling out. Nolan Smith still playing less snaps, but he's definitely trending in the right direction. Still, though, even with all the great defensive line play, we have to acknowledge Nakobe Dean for maybe being the glue that we didn't realize Philadelphia's defense has needed the entire season. Dean right now is playing back at his Pro Bowl self from last season. It's like he never left despite having an absolutely brutal knee injury. I mean, on the night alone, he had 3 tackles plus the huge sack. That was special. But lost in all the excitement was his 3 covered snaps against Jahmyr Gibbs, which resulted in 0 catches. Nakobe Dean has made us completely forget about Jahad Campbell, who was playing at a Defensive Rookie of the Year level at linebacker to start the season, and now he's getting on the football field, and no offense to him, but Dean has completely taken back that linebacker spot, and it's because he's playing so darn well. It's just unbelievable to see.
For me, I knew as long as I'm able to play and get on the field, and I just got to handle my business. It was always me just handling what I got to do, controlling what I can control, and everything else take care of itself.
All in all, Vic Fangio's unit is on another level right now. With the past 22 possessions in the past 2 games, only allowing 2 total touchdowns, on with their second highest EPA performance ever under Vic Fangio's command. If the Eagle defense keeps playing at this level going forward, any team coming to the link in January should be absolutely terrified because this is a championship caliber defense, the likes of which we have not seen since this time last year. Now, of course, as great as the defense was, This should have been an absolute blowout, and it's just driving me nuts that we keep doing this with the Birds offense week after week after week, drive after drive after drive. It really feels like at some point this unit has to stop shooting themselves in the foot. First off, nearly every single drive that started at the line 40 and ended up in a 3 and out had some sort of false start or holding that backed them up and absolutely nuked their chances. I mean, as a team, Philadelphia had 9 penalties for 78 yards. Well, we're all talking about the bad call that went their way at the end, which was pass interference, but whatever. Until this offense stops shooting themselves in the foot every single drive, it really won't matter what play calls Kevin Patullo actually produces.
We'll have a big play and then we'll shoot ourselves in the foot. We got to stop, the penalties on ourselves and things like that. That's the biggest thing. Just stop shooting ourselves in the foot.
Self-inflicted. I think as soon as we got going, we shot ourselves in the foot. Yeah, that's something that we can clean up. If somebody just beat us, then hats off to them. But it's some things that we are doing.
And yet, when you take the penalties aside and you look at the actual film from Monday night, I think it's very clear they need to make a play calling change. I'm officially at the point where they need to make a play calling change because Kevin Patullo, he's just not it. Detroit runs some of the most man-heavy schemes in the entire NFL. And I'll ask you guys this question, just watching the game last night. How many crossing routes did you see the Eagles actually run? Time and time again, it was either a back shoulder fade, Jalen scrambling, or some sort of 10-yard stop route.
We got to score points. We got to be more efficient. We got to take advantage of opportunities when they're there. And we got to control the things that we can control. It's the same MO it's been this whole entire time.
I'm not saying Nick Sirianni should call plays. I'm saying give it to Scott Loeffler. Give it to the Eagle quarterback coach right now. He called a ton of plays at college. They have to do something because KP, 11 weeks in, he just doesn't have it. I mean, ask yourself this. What is the Eagles' offensive identity right now? Like, remember last season, they had no identity through the first 6 weeks where they struggled, and then suddenly it became super clear their identity was running Saquon and play-action passing behind that. And I mean, last night, yes, Saquon ran the ball well, all things considered, and yet the amount of play-action passes, especially across the middle, were completely missing. It's week 11, guys. It's week 11. This isn't week 4. They don't have forever to figure things out. They have got to make a change on offense because this is a championship caliber defense. I'll keep saying that. If the offense is just 10% better than what we see right now, they're probably going back to the Super Bowl.
We have to do a bit of identifying of who we are so we can find consistency in something and go out there and execute at a high level. I think there's a lot of encouragement coming into the bye week on where we were, still with a ton of room to improve. But you know what I feel about momentum. It can begin and end at any moment.
Still, on a positive note, though, we should at least have an A.J. Brown drama-free week, I'm hoping, because Brown did lead the Birds with 11 targets on 49 receiving yards. And both Jalen and A.J. Brown said post-game wasn't a point of emphasis, even though none of us actually believe that.
Yeah, just going with the flow of the game and how it was called and trying to go out there and execute.
There wasn't, effort to get him the football.
That may be a KP question.
It wasn't about targets last week or the week before. Production. It wasn't about that at all. It was me trying to help and contribute. That's all. And regardless of what that looked like in phases, I think I did. But like I said, there's a lot of stuff that we as offense and me myself need to continue to get better at. So
there's also some debate on if A.J. Brown stopped running on this deep shot in the second half. And honestly, the film kind of shows like it was. But A.J. was asked about it post-game, and he quickly denied the fact and called it simply a miss by both him and Jalen Hurts.
Constant hand fighting down the field, and just miss, Not just saying he missed, but we just missed.
I have zero problem with A.J. Brown getting targets. I've said that week after week after week. He should lead the team in targets every single week. I just wonder when those targets are going to start to look easier, right? Amon-Ra St. Brown had multiple plays where he was running wide open and Jared Goff just missed him. When have we ever seen any Eagle receiver, especially A.J. Brown, running wide open across the middle of the football field? We're not seeing it. And so, yes, targets are important, but if it's just 10-yard stops, 10-yard out routes, are they really that, good of targets? Right now, this offense is a bottom 3 offense in the entire league right now. Bottom 3rd, if you want to be a little bit generous. And until something changes, this is going to continue to be pulling teeth every single time the Bird offense is out in the field. I personally have said it multiple times tonight. I'm ready for KP to hand over play calling duties, but I wouldn't hold your breath. But hey, at least the guys continue to say after the game, they know they're struggling and they're going to try to fix it. 5 stops on 4th down. As an offense, we've got to be able to capitalize on some of those, on all of those opportunities in short fields and when the defense is playing like that. So that's an area of growth for us.
And things that we can be happy about. But, we're in the business of trying to get better. And so it's not that we're just moping around. We're excited. The guys are just in here dancing. Not me, because I can't dance. But we're just going to try to just go back to work and just fix the things that we need to get better at.
And they should try and fix it. I mean, right now, Philadelphia has 6 wins over playoff teams from a year ago and are 4-0 against guaranteed playoff teams in the NFC this year. You obviously cannot luck into that. As it stands right now, the Birds are the number 1 overall seed, and the way the schedule's looking the rest of the final 7 weeks of the year, Philadelphia might only face 3 potential playoff teams the rest of the way. And so don't just be content with what you have right now on defense and say, oh, we'll be a defense-led team the entire way. Figure out the offense, because if they just improve by 10%, I think they're going to go on a very deep playoff run, especially if those playoff games continue to come exclusively at Lincoln Financial Field. Now, of course, plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks, including giveaways. We get to 110,000 subs. The helmet giveaway, Dean, Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, that's coming. But we need to go announce the winner of the Saturday Birds Apparel winner who won the vintage throwback hoodie here, the retro hoodie, which I absolutely love. I have my t-shirt on right here. That was at Juno Edwards, who had the right comment saying go Birds, and also was randomly selected. So Juno, down below my description box, send me an email, prove it's you. Everybody else, if you didn't win, watch out for scammers. But if you also want to go ahead and pick up a hoodie of your own, which I'll link down below if you didn't win, we'll do more giveaways on these in the future as well. Use my promo code MOTTSHOW. I'll link it down below again. 10% off, pick up a hoodie. I'm loving my Birds Apparel gear. I got the t-shirt on today, but the hoodies, cold weather, fantastic. As usual, Philadelphia wins, be positive, but still be critical because the offense, it has some problems. Thomas Mott, this has been the Thomas Mott Show.